Hello everybody, in this lesson I will teach you how to sketch a hyperbola. First of all, I want to discuss continuity. Continuity, a function is said to be continuous if it can be drawn as a single line. You can draw the function without lifting your hand from the paper. In other words, a parabola is a continuous function. A function that is not continuous is said to be discrete. The hyperbola is an example of a discrete function. It has to be drawn in two separate motions, and there is an example of a hyperbola. Now the general formula for a hyperbola is y is equal to a over x plus q. So the fact that x is the denominator of that fraction, that is what's going to tell you that you are dealing with a hyperbola. A is a constant which determines the quadrants that the hyperbola will lie in. Now when a is greater than 0, that means a is positive. Your hyperbola will look like that and lives in the first and the third quadrant. When a is smaller than 0, in other words negative, then there's your hyperbola living in the second and the fourth quadrant. Now we will sketch the basic hyperbola y is equal to 1 over x. Now in the parabola course, lesson 6, I explained how to use your calculator to make a table. So I suggest you make a table with your calculator for y is 1 over x. Now I did it for you and there's the result. So the first coordinate is the point -4 and -0,25. That's that one. Then -3 and -0,33. -2, -0,5, -1, -1. And then there's a 0 and an error. So what that means is when you have 1 divided by 0, that one is undefined. So it means your graph doesn't have a value there at 0. And then when you continue down there, there's 1 and 1, 2 and 0,5, 3 and 0,33, and 4 and 0,25. And then when you join all the dots, there's your graph. Now with your hyperbola, since a was positive, this is how I knew that my graph will live in the first and the third quadrant. Then you must remember to put your arrows on your graph. And then there's also a very important thing that you will find here. And this is, if you zoom in on the y-axis, there's the y-axis, this point over there. Can you see that the graph doesn't cut the axis? And we say your graph has an asymptote there. And also both sides on the x-axis, the graph does not intersect your axis. Therefore, there's no values there. It's only your graph gets closer and closer and closer to the axis, but never cuts it. Therefore, there's an asymptote. Now here, sketched, you can see the graph of y is minus 1 over x. So it's very clear that a is negative. Therefore, your graph lives in the second and the fourth quadrant. So in order to get this graph, make a table, pause the video, and quickly sketch it yourself so that you can see exactly what's going on. Then there's other information you must also know. The first thing is on your graph, as discussed already, you find something that we call a horizontal asymptote. Now your horizontal asymptote, as you can see, is flying in there, is the x-axis, and the equation of the x-axis is y is equal to 0. But there's also a vertical asymptote, and your vertical asymptote is the y-axis, and the equation for the y-axis is x is equal to 0. Then there's something else. It's something we call the axis of symmetry. And when we dealt with straight lines, this is a very familiar line for us there. That line, that's the line y is equal to minus x. And then there's another axis of symmetry. And this in its flu, this is the line y is equal to x. Now, I will discuss the influence of A. Now, first of all, there's the basic graph. Y is 1 over x, and A is positive, so we know this will be the graph, living in the first and the third quadrant. Let's investigate A now. On top of that graph, let's sketch the graph y is equal to 2 over x on the same system of axes, and then you find that. So the purple graph you can now see is y is 2 over x. Again, my advice to you is to rather pause the video and make the table with your calculator and sketch it yourself. And then lastly, let's look at y is half x, and the x is under the line, and then we end with that. Can you see? Before we continue, have you subscribed yet? Or you can like this video, and better yet, please tell your friends about my channel. Let's continue. Let's look at the influence of A and when A is negative. So when you have y is minus 1 over x, then your graph, your hyperbola, will live in the second and fourth quadrant. Now, let's look at the graph of y is minus 3 over x on the same system of axes. There, the green graph, you can see what happened there. And then lastly, on top of those, let's look at y is minus 1 over 3x, and there's your graph. Again, my suggestion is pause the video, make the table, sketch the graphs yourself. Now I want to discuss the domain and the range. On the left, you find the graph of y is equal to 1 over x, and on the right hand side, there's y is minus 1 over x in its appropriate quadrants. Now, first of all, let's look at the domain. Remember, domain you find on the x-axis, and on the left hand side, all the x values form part of the domain as well as on the other graph. So to write that in maths, you write x is an element real, but there's a restriction. X cannot be equal to 0, since there at 0 you find the asymptote. And then for the range, for both of them, remember, the range you read from the bottom upwards. Therefore, for both of them, the range is y is an element real, and your restriction y cannot be equal to 0, since that's where you find your asymptote. And on the other graph, it's exactly the same. Y is an element real, y cannot be equal to 0. In the next video, I will discuss the influence of Q on the hyperbola. Click on the video in the left-hand corner to take you straight to the next lesson.